Welcome back. This is the last tape in the Eckhart series, and the material comes from an original play written by myself called Eckhart, and it touches on the life of Meister Eckhart and how he had transformed people that came into contact with him. He was indeed very, very popular, and this began to make, for example, the Bishop of Cologne very uncomfortable, as his theology was not the standard fold of theology of that time. So the court, Bishop Ignatius, a representative of the Archbishop of Cologne, presents his compelling case, looking at things that most people do not understand, and that is, for example, the pervasive nature of a spirit, and the acknowledgement of that circumstance. The popular perspective at that time was still quite dualistic, and the revelations of unity were, generally speaking, not fully condemned, but had to be tempered with common theology, theologies that supported the current status quo, if you will, the authority of the church. So Eckhart is now going to be responding to the accusations made by Bishop Ignatius at the papal court. The year is 1327. To believe this world is vile and unworthy of being held as sacred is as much an error as failing to recognize the fallen state of mankind. I suggest to you that my inquisitors err themselves by dismissing the pervasive presence of God. The teaching on the matter is explicit enough. From him, and through him, and to him are all things. In him we live and move and have our being. We are his offspring. Can it be said more clearly than that? Though I revere St. Augustine's wisdom, I am not he. As different teachers, we have different emphasis. As a Dominican friar, I am charged to awaken people to the reality of God, that they may see it for themselves and become the seeds of compassion. I have learned that God's infinite compassion is not an aspiration, but the nature of being. There is no aspect of creation that is not contained in him. As far as any two opposing opinions can stray from one another, his breath effortlessly contains them. This has informed my work and my preaching. I minister to the begin because I am equipped to do so. I have not relied on the threat of punishment to win the hearts of the people. They already want God. I believe the real St. Augustine would agree. We move best towards God in love rather than terror. This does not suggest that I deny or hide the painful outcome of sinfulness. I have far from forgotten the ravages of sin, but am committed to its remedy. The real St. Augustine would once again agree with me when I confirm that punishment does not cure sin. I have taught that stilling the will and the memory leads to God. Not the false God of human ideas, but the living God, the source of creation. This is not a false notion, as it is not a notion at all. Not understanding this is not grounds for heresy. It is also not a departure from the Church of God, as Scripture confirms it. The lesson from the Garden of Eden is not that we are damned. If it were, we would be in hell this very moment. This is not hell. It is, in fact, quite the contrary. Adam's plight to Eden provides the necessary understanding that directs us to interrupt human knowledge, which obstructs revelation. Thus I teach unknowingness. With emptiness and innocence regained, God has a vessel through which he may express his infinite intelligence and his infinite compassion. I have preached and practiced this redemption. If this papal court, to whom I have sworn allegiance, finds this in error, I will defer to its wisdom. The suggestion, however, of heresy is to my sight outrageous and a sign of malice and blind fear. Having argued for 6 days, I have said enough. I believe that my case is well documented. I leave the rest of this matter to the court's determination. So Eckhart has responded with a rich knowledge of his background. He is Meister Eckhart. I was a chief teacher at the Theological Academy in Paris, and is a highly esteemed person of that time. Quite beloved, and again making some of the powers that be uncomfortable. So this has been a conversation about the mystical perspective of a Western Dominican priest. You will see, as you consider some of the material that I presented, that he has a perspective that appears to collapse the subject-object relationship. He is certainly a very interesting person, a very significant person who influenced theologians to come, especially the German theologians in the Rhineland, Germany, that ultimately continued to cultivate a mystical perspective that would be a communion perspective with the Spirit. There is little doubt that the earth was recognized as sacred, a very critically important perspective that probably would be very helpful for our times. It's been a great privilege to be presenting this to you. The play again is Eckhart, and I will alert you when it is available, when it's being dramatized. These were readings from that same play. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll continue on. We will investigate other mystics, recognizing that they indeed are discussing not only the liberation from sin, as Meister Eckhart has, but also the liberation from psychological suffering, as the Buddha has. Thank you so much.